Pirates have lost their treasure, Jason Kendall. But Buck fans can raise the flag for Warren Morris, a real Rookie of the Year candidate. The All-Star Indian lineup is an offensive tour de force. Manny Ramirez and Roberto Alomar are having MVP seasons. And tonight, flame-throwing Bartolo Colon on the mound. The Indians have the best record in baseball as interleague play kicks off the second half of the season. In Pittsburgh, it's Fox Sports Net Baseball Thursday. Three Rivers Stadium, just a 2-hour drive from Cleveland's Jacobs Field, and close to a sellout on a hazy summer evening. Right back after the All-Star break, it's the Pirates and the Indians on Fox Sports Net Baseball Thursday. Welcome to Pittsburgh. Josh Lewin, very happy to be with you tonight. Thank you for making this a part of your Thursday evening. Some of the stories that we're tracking for you tonight include Al Martin of the Pirates trying to go up from a 20-game hitting streak all the way to 21. Now, the Cleveland Indians used to have Brian Giles running around in their outfield. Instead, it is Giles as a Pirate against the Indians tonight, facing his old mates for the first time. And Manny Ramirez, one of the big stories that everybody is tracking here in 1999. 191 is the RBI record that he's chasing. And Kevin Kennedy is my partner tonight. Great to see you again, Kev.
You too.
Welcome back from the All-Star game.
Absolutely.
If you can call it a break. What about Manny Ramirez?
Well, I think Manny Ramirez with 25 home runs and 96 RBIs, that's third most at the All-Star break in history in Major League Baseball. He's on his way to an MVP year, no doubt about it. But when you got those table setters at the top of the order, you're going to drive in some runs.
And speaking of driving, that's happened in this series. A lot of people from northern Ohio coming to Pittsburgh. Very short trip, just a couple hours.
Yeah.
Should be rocking and rolling tonight.
People don't realize that. Browns and Steelers have been rivals for years in football, and now in baseball you've got the Indians and Pirates. No doubt about it, interleague play is here to stay.
All right, so the fans will be into it. I-76, not the only connection between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. We mentioned Brian Giles, current Pirate, former Indian. He'll be facing off against the Clevelanders tonight. Baseball Thursday is next. Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by SkyTel. Get guaranteed messaging from SkyTel and never miss another page. Well, the car that is ascending, that could be the Cleveland Indians. They are 56-31. They've got a 13-game lead over the Chicago White Sox in the American League Central. And let's check out these Zima starting lineups for those juggernauts. Cleveland Indians tonight. It all starts with the parade of All-Stars. Kenny Lofton, Omar Vizquel, and Roberto Alomar. Manny Ramirez, hey, he was in Boston too. Jim Thome at first base, yes, he was an All-Star. David Justice has been 3 times. Enrique Wilson at third base. Einar Diaz catching. Bartolo Colon, who's on the mound. And Jason Schmidt is on the mound. Kevin Kennedy for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Jason Schmidt has a 93-94 fastball, good hard sliders. Got to use that changeup, particularly against left-handers. Got to mix the change speeds a little bit more, keep his pitch count down, and he's improving defensively on the mound. Jason's in his 19th start. He's 8-6 with a 4.30 ERA.
First pitch, a strike, says Kerwin Danley. He's with Mike Winters, Bob Davidson, and Ed Montague tonight, at least until September 2nd.
As far as we know.
Now the umpire's making big news over the All-Star break. There's strike 2. Well, what do you think of that, Kevin Kennedy? The umpires say they're gone as of September 2nd.
You know, I ran into a couple of guys. That guy right there, I ran into him in the elevator, and they want to get a deal done. That's why they have announced their intentions right now. Trying to put some pressure on that commissioner's office. I don't know if it's going to work, but they're putting some pressure on them.
Lofton smacks one foul. We stay at a ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Jason Schmidt has had more trouble against left-handers. They're hitting 290 as a league against Jason this year. Right-handers hit 248. So the lefties, that's where he's got to use that changeup more often. It fades down and away. Keep him off balance.
And just keeping Lofton off base, such a big part of neutralizing Cleveland. But Schmidt cannot do it. Lofton hunting for extra bases, and he'll have an extra base. He's at second with a leadoff double and had eyes for third as the ball was played in leisurely by Martin. That's where it all starts with Kenny Lofton for these Cleveland Indians. And besides Martin in left field, Ryan Giles, the former Cleveland Indian in center, Adrian Brown in right, Ed Sprague. He was an all-star. He was at the game in Boston, but he does have 19 errors.
That's hard to do on AstroTurf. Most of those would be throwing errors for Ed Sprague. You get true hops, of course, on turf here in Pittsburgh. All fastballs from Schmidt to Lofton, and Lofton hits the double.
There's a perfectly placed bunt by Omar Vizquel. You know, he was 28 for 28, sacrificing in the last couple of seasons, 97 and 98. Not a better textbook bunter, perhaps, in the American League.
Well, particularly left-handed. Omar Vizquel is actually bunting for a hit, and if he doesn't get the hit, at least he knows he gets Kenny Lofton over. Sprague was up looking bunt, fields it perfectly, and throws a strike over there to get Vizquel, but Omar accomplished what he wanted. He got Lofton over to third base, and as we said at the top, these table setters of Lofton, Vizquel, and Alomar are awesome, and that's why Manny Ramirez has 96 RBIs.
Alomar with a chance to deny him the opportunity for number 97 right here. Infield comes in. And as Yankee manager Joe Torre said about a couple of weeks ago, Kevin, talking about this Cleveland team, he says it's not just that they beat you. They put you in a trunk and they drive you away somewhere. Well,
there's no doubt about it. And the top three guys in this order all hit to all fields. They steal bases. They make things happen. They put the ball in play. Then they got the power coming up right after Robbie Alomar with Ramirez, Thome, and Justice. Very, very well-balanced lineup. Very good design from John Hart. Lefty-righty balance in this lineup.
And you look at that stat, you wouldn't think that they would even need to be bunting with all the thunder in that lineup, but they do.
Well, that's what makes them tough to defend. You can't play them defensively any one way. You can't lay back on them. Of course, the Pirates are playing halfway. They want to cut the run down now. And that's actually on turf. The defense is in. You don't have to play as far in like you do on grass because the ball will get to you quicker on turf. So they want to cut the run off right away.
Gene Lamont, the Pirate manager, boy, what a great job he's done. And he'll be tested the rest of the way without Jason Kendall. Alomar down on strikes. So indeed it is left for the RBI machine. Manny Ramirez comes up, runner at third, 2 out.
Good hard breaking ball right here. Bottom falls out of it. Robbie Alomar a little bit surprised right here. It's a curveball. Right over the top, 12-6. Robbie definitely fooled.
It's no way to treat a 10-time All-Star, is it?
Well, they're used to seeing more fastballs and sliders from Smitty, but that was a curveball.
Infield back as Ramirez takes a hard one inside.
Well, now Manny does get his chance to drive in his 97th run this year.
And possibly 98th if he gives one a good whack.
That's true. 25 home runs. Manny likes to dive out over the plate. You've got to pitch him up and in if you've got enough fastball, and Jason Schmidt does. Got to get under his hands.
In there to square it at 1-1, and your Toyota League leaders. I mean, it's not even close right now. Go over to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Matt Williams has 82. But Ramirez starts the second half with 96. That's the third highest total at the break ever.
And Josh, I saw your preseason picks this year on the internet for Fox, and you picked Manny as the MVP.
Yes, thank you very much.
I do read that. You know, that's our internet.
Yeah, but you know what? I did not forecast this.
I actually picked Griffey, so you can't go wrong with either one of those guys.
No, that's not teetering on a limb right there. You know, Gonzalez, though, 101 at the break last year. He ended up with 157. Only 56 in the second half. There's a strike on the outside edge, but still Gonzalez with that total of 157. That's the most in the American League in 50 years.
Well, what happened with Juan Gonzalez last year, they just stopped pitching to him. But this is a better lineup right here in Cleveland because you got Jim Thome on deck, a left-handed hitter with a lot of power, so you cannot pitch around Manny Ramirez to get to Thome.
On the ground to short, Mike Benjamin. Keeps it 0-0, and the Pirate fans are up and yelling first. Here comes their Pittsburgh Baseball Club to the plate against Bartolo Colon after this. Gene Lamont's Pirates trying to hang in the NL Central race. They are 7 games back of Houston and Cincinnati. Their starting lineup brought to you by Zima. It's Al Martin at the top of the order, in with that 20-game hitting streak, and he's been terrific as a leadoff man. Adrian Brown in right, Brian Giles in center, says hello to his old Cleveland teammates tonight. Kevin Young at first, and then the all-star Ed Sprague. Warren Morris, the rookie second baseman. Mike Benjamin at short. Keith Osick instead of Jason Kendall pretty much the rest of the way now. And you see the way they break it down. It's all outfield, then all infield, and then finally the battery. Osick and Schmidt in that Pirates lineup, and they're taking their cuts against the fastballer, Bartolo Colon.
Well, Colon has two fastballs. He's got that four-seamer that goes 98, 99. He's even hit 100 this year, and a two-seamer around 92 miles an hour with some sink to it. Slider, changeup, occasional curveball. You can run on Colon, but he has got the stuff to be a dominant pitcher in the major leagues.
Well, behind him, it doesn't get much slicker up the middle than Vizquel and Alomar. Enrique Wilson is in for Travis Fryman at third. Diaz in for Sandy Alomar behind the plate.
You got Alomar, Lofton, Vizquel, and then the other Alomar, Sandy, back. That's as strong as you want up the middle defensively. So the Indians not only average 6.5 runs a game, they also can play defense.
Alomar did make an error in the All-Star game.
Yeah, that was surprising. That ball just handcuffed him. He had his glove down nicely, and he just boxed it.
Bartolo Colon begins his evening throwing 96-mile-an-hour smoke to Al Martin.
And he's just warming up. I've seen this guy hit 99 and 100. It's that four-seamer, that 96 fastball.
Chop ball back to Colon. Well, you look at Colon against Jason Schmidt. That is your matchup tonight. And indeed, a couple of guys who can bring it. Bartolo Colon tells us he learned to throw hard and throw accurately, Kevin, by knocking coconuts out of trees with a rock back in the Dominican Republic growing up. Cleveland scouts kept shooing him away when he was 13 and 14, but by the time he was 17 or 18, they said, we'll take a shot. That's a pretty good shot.
Well, you know who else did that was Pedro Martinez in the Dominican. That's how he learned how to throw also. And you're talking about the most dominant pitcher in baseball today, so not a bad way to learn how to throw something.
Adrian Brown steps in, and he's got a 1-1 count. Well, Pedro Martinez, of course, began his career throwing at people's coconuts.
Well, that's where he learned it, though. Back in Dominican. You know, he pitched for me in Albuquerque 1991, and I had never seen a young pitcher that had such command at that age. And of course, later on, he went to Montreal and followed me over there, actually, and then on to Boston. But Tuesday night, I mean, that was electric after seeing Ted Williams come out and all the Century All-Stars and the All-Stars from this year surround him on the mound spontaneously. That was a fabulous moment. It gave me chills. And then Pedro just took that cue and went right out there and punched out the side in the first inning. It was phenomenal. I mean, he just threw overpowering stuff Tuesday night. 97 fastball, great changeup, and good curveball. It was just an electric night. And Colon has that type of stuff. That's what I'm talking about. He's got that type of fastball. We're seeing 97 already tonight.
And he was an all-star last year. In fact, was a winning pitcher at the game in Denver.
That's right.
Buzzes that one in there at 98, and down goes Adrian Brown.
Now, the one thing that Mike Hargrove wants to do with Colon is minimize his pitch count. Last year he threw a lot of pitches, and later in the year he was tired. Look at this fastball. Paralysis. That's on the outside corner, at the knees, and 98 miles an hour. I mean, that's not over the heart of the plate. That's on the corner, and that's not fair. A little running action going away from Adrian Brown. Can't touch it.
Now the much-anticipated reunion. Brian Giles can look into that Cleveland dugout and say, I know you, you, and you. I know everybody in there.
Well, you can lean back like Mike Hargrove is doing, and Reagan right there, Phil Reagan, the pitching coach, with his leg crossed when you got a guy like Colon out there. You can just kind of relax the first few innings till he gets settled in.
But Brian Giles having a tremendous year and admits it would be a big deal to come up and have a couple of hits against his former organization.
Well, Brian Giles certainly had all-star numbers this year. 18 home runs, 57 RBIs, a .313 batting average. Now hitting third in that Pirate lineup. And one of the knocks in Cleveland was that people thought he couldn't hit left-handed pitching, but he's proved that theory wrong.
Wind him up, let him play every day, see what happens. The Pirates are reaping the benefits from that.
And here's another guy that I like with a slightly open stance, because when he goes to take his stride, he strides right toward the pitcher. Doesn't block his hips off. He's able to get through the inside pitch and hit the outside pitch.
Already he's got his career high for a single season in home runs.
.313 batting average for John Giles. It's all-star.
Well, Colon, after getting up to 99 miles an hour, comes right back with 98. He took something off it.
Yeah.
Base is clear, 2 down. And he just missed, 98 again.
Take a look at Bartolo Colon. He gets a lot of drive and a lot of power from his legs. Very slow. Backdrop right there. Good balance position right there. Gets that high leg kick, and then you're going to see him lead with the hips right here, and that's where the power comes from. That's what creates the arm speed. Great leg drive right there. Creates the arm speed, and there you have that 98 velocity. All created from the legs. Leading with the hip.
Kevin Young sends one foul to the net, and he's quietly having a nice year, .312 batting average. He's got the power numbers. He's also stolen 14 bases. And you know, Kevin, 3 years ago the Pirates released Young. This spring they signed him to a 4-year deal worth $24 million.
Well, he came into his own last year at 27 home runs, hit for power, average, can run. You know, you never know in baseball. You keep playing this game, and really guys don't come into their peak until they're about 28 years old. 28 to 33 are really the peak years for a baseball player.
But it's amazing how some teams are scrambling now to grab players they once had, put them back in the mix. A foul ball by Young. The Blue Jays, 6 years ago, released David Wells. This spring they traded Roger Clemens to get him back.
That's why I tell young players when I was managing, just keep playing. Go to winter ball, get as many at-bats as you can, throw as many innings as you can, keep playing this game, because with expansion now with 30 teams, there's independent baseball now all over the country. There's international baseball. You can play in Taiwan and Japan. Just keep playing. You never know. You might get a chance to play in the big league someday. Keep improving.
1-2, smacked out of play. We'll do it again.
Well, what we're watching with Colon, those are the two-seam fastballs. You see the movement that runs in on the hands to the right-handed hitting Young. That's not the four-seamer, the power fastball. The four-seamer is more of a true fastball straight, but has more velocity. The two-seamer has a little running action to it, which will tail away from the lefties and run in on the hands of the right-handers, and that's what Colon's throwing right now in this sequence to Young. He's got him in a breaking ball count. He's busted a bunch of fastballs in. We'll see if he throws a breaking ball. Just to keep him honest, he does. So now with a 1-2 count, Young doesn't know if he's going to go back fastball up and in, breaking ball away. That's the count pitchers live for.
Ed Sprague next, if indeed Kevin Young can keep it going. All right, breaking pitcher, a fastball. He just blew it by him. One of the better fastballs of the inning. He went in tight. Kind of Pedro Martinez-ish right there. So Colon has got it going on early. Jason Schmidt will come back out to the mound for the Pirates after this. Jason Schmidt, the right-hander for the Pirates, looking for his 9th win. We talked to his manager, Gene Lamont. What is he looking for?
You know, a lot of people don't know about Jason. We got him from Atlanta in a trade. A power pitcher. Maybe probably throw to 92, 93, maybe up to 95. Probably his second best pitch, really a changeup, which he throws a lot to left-handers. But he also has a real good slider that when he has real good control of it, can be dominating.
Well, his last time out, not bad, although he took a no decision in a loss to the Minnesota Twins. Actually, both these pitchers tonight, their last time out, they took a no decision to the Minnesota Twins. Same for Bartolo Colon. Scoreless into the second inning, Jim Thome. He is ahead in the count 1-0. It'll be Thome, Justice, and Enrique Wilson, three guys who will come up left-handed. Now, Thome was in the All-Star game. In fact, the first 5 hitters in the Cleveland lineup, Kevin, you go All-Star, 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 All-Star. I mean, come on.
David Justice getting ready. Vizquel, Kenny Lofton. All-Stars sitting next to All-Stars. Good fastball.
Now, Thome, who leads the league in walks, not shy about taking pitches. Even when he takes to get a second strike on him, it doesn't seem to scare him off.
I love that shot that we saw at the All-Star game Tuesday night on Fox. That catcher cam, you saw how that fastball, he just reversed it for the base hit in the All-Star game. Not this time, not on the curveball.
That's that big bender that Gene Lamont was talking about. He shows it every once in a while.
Yeah, he's throwing his curveball, Josh, to the left-handers, top to bottom. That's that good drop, 12-6 if you had a clock. And the hand was at 12. You see it drop right down to 6. Over the top curveball. He's throwing the slider more to righties, the curveball to the lefties.
Now, by the way, you're noticing all the Pirates have the word kid up there on their caps. That's for Jason Kendall. That's his nickname. Kendall did not exactly celebrate the 4th of July the way he had anticipated. That gruesome injury, which will keep him out for the year. But look, he's going to be there in spirit the rest of the way. Heck, they traveled to his gray road jersey on that last trip to Minnesota.
Well,
Justice tees off, and he flares it into center. Giles leaps up, and he's got it.
that ball was smoked by Justice. That thing took off like a laser. And that's the toughest play an outfielder will tell you, that line drive right at you. Look at this play, going all out. Full extension on the lead. You have to freeze to see exactly where the ball is, and that ball just took off. Great play by Giles. You ask any outfielder, they'll tell you the line drive right at him is the toughest play, because you have to gauge it. It's tough to see. So you do a little drop step, and then you read the ball, and that's exactly what Giles did.
Enrique Wilson ahead in the count 1-0, following 2 quick outs here in the top of the second.
4:33 in July. He'll stay in that lineup, and they'll keep Thome over at first base if he keeps doing that.
Yeah, Travis Twyman out with the torn knee ligaments, and that's the beauty of this Cleveland team. Without Travis Twyman, without Sandy Alomar, they just don't seem to miss a beat.
And Will Cordero.
Yeah, you're right.
Broke his wrist. Swinging the bat well for him. They'll get him back probably in September, Cordero. Fryman maybe middle of September. They're really not sure.
On the ground to second. A 1-2-3 inning as Warren Morris throws out Enrique Wilson. And the Pirates coming up now against Bartolo Colon again in a scoreless second inning. We talked to their manager, Mike Hargrove.
Bartolo is obviously a power pitcher. He throws the ball anywhere from 93 to 99 miles an hour. He has hit 100 this year. Throws a 4-seamer, which will be the harder of the 2 fastballs. A 2-seamer, he throws that anywhere from 92 to 94, and it's a good sinker. He's got a changeup he throws in a breaking ball. The key with Bartolo is getting ahead of hitters and keeping down in the strike zone. When he does that, he's very effective.
And Bartolo Colon, as he deals a strike to Ed Sprague. Kevin, he's listed at 6 feet tall. And unless there's been a massive recalibration of tape measures across the land, we can say with reasonable confidence Colon is not 6 feet tall. But just as the Astros' Billy Wagner can throw 99-mile-an-hour heat, just because you're 5'10" and or under, that doesn't mean you can't bring it.
But look at the legs on him. That's where it comes from. That's where the power comes from.
Floats that one in there, makes it 1-2.
If you use them correctly. I mean, look at those legs. They're tree trunks, just like Billy Wagner you mentioned. Very strong legs if you're balanced and land on the ball of your foot. Again, that creates the arm speed, and there you got the velocity.
Trying to ring it over the outside corner. Missed to grow it to 2-2. And yeah, Ed Sprague to the All-Star game when Jason Kendall, of course, couldn't make it.
Ed Sprague's got a little bit of Mickey Tettleton in his batting setup there. Laying that bat back flat like Mickey used to do.
Alamar Tomi for the first out. Warren Morris coming up next. And folks, let me tell you about Going Deep. Chris Myers will talk with Hall of Famer and 1999 Hall of Fame inductee Nolan Ryan Sunday at 9 on Fox Sports Net. We invite you to check your local listings. There are some numbers there, especially that strikeout column. I don't know if that is a record that can ever...
Look at all these numbers. I was going to circle the wins, but I mean, look at that. 7 no-hitters. Unbelievable. You know who his last manager was?
Hang on. Warren Morris socks one into center. Let's see. Nolan Ryan's last manager.
Trivia. I'm going to give you some trivia there.
Wait a minute. Does he have a mustache? Is he sitting to my right?
And proud of it.
Well, you should be.
I'll tell you what, Nolan pitched 26 years in the major leagues, and I never saw anybody work harder in between starts. At his age, 46 years old when he retired, worked harder than all the young guys I've ever managed. He and Roger Clemens were very similar in their work ethic between starts to get ready every 5 days. That's why he lasted so long. And talking about the legs, nobody had greater leg drive than Nolan Ryan.
Mike Benjamin takes to make it 1-0. Well, Ryan, at the age of 42, Kevin, had a 300 strikeout season. The next highest strikeout total by a 42-year-old, 114 by a knuckleballer, Charlie Huff. I mean, Nolan Ryan at age 42 had a 2.31 ERA. He struck out 301 batters. It's phenomenal.
And any pitcher will tell you, really any athlete will tell you, the first thing to go when you get older and you're not able to perform the same level that you've been used to is your legs. Your legs. Some people may say other things, but it's your legs as an athlete.
I got you. Well, Bartolo Colon, I mean, heck, he's 22 years away from getting to 46 years old when Nolan Ryan finally hung it up. Actually, a little earlier than he had wanted to, throwing his last pitch at the Kingdom. Two and one, the count to Benjamin. Morris, the runner at first. And wow, the Mike Benjamin fans, they're legion. They're everywhere.
Everywhere? I think they're all right there.
Oh.
Good defensive player, though. He did a nice job for the Red Sox last year, and he's done a nice job here. Pat Mears, of course, out.
Stroked foul. I don't know. I heard the international chapter of the Benjamin fan club is meeting up in Reykjavik, Iceland this fall. Should be quite a summit.
Wow, where'd you pull that out of?
I mean, the Mike Benjamin fan club is everywhere. I mean, intergalactic.
Is it on the internet? Does he have his own website?
Now, he's probably the only player without. Yeah. Well, for a career .216 hitter, that's pretty nice to have your own chapter in Cleveland. Actually, Mike Benjamin's fame was a few years ago when he had a 3-game stretch, Kevin, with the Giants, where he went 14 for 15 over a 3-game stretch. I mean,
wow.
Mike Benjamin did that.
Wow.
Ted Williams never did that. But even with that 14 for 15, he's a lifetime .216 hitter. Runner goes, and Diaz firing to second base in time to get him. Warren Morris sliding into the tag. Einar Diaz put it right where it had to be.
Well, the first thing you have to do as a catcher to throw runners out is have great quick feet and watch Diaz. Watch his get his feet in position quickly. And that sets up the quick release. Now watch the big leg kick by Colon. Jump of Morris, looks back, and a bullet to second base. by Diaz. Now, Diaz throws out 32%. That's about league average.
Meantime, Cologne strikes out Benjamin. That'll do it. 3 strikeouts for Cologne so far. We're scoreless heading to the third on Fox Sports Net. And the Indians renewing a rivalry here. Really, it's more Cleveland and Pittsburgh. The two cities renewing a rivalry. Mike Hargrove's team in very comfortable position. 13-game lead over the White Sox in the AL Central. The Pirates, well, no such comfort. They've got 7 games to make up in the second half. But this is fun, you know, talking about Cleveland and Pittsburgh. We mentioned it's just a 2-hour drive downtown to downtown.
Wake up, Mike. You've had your 3 days off. Back to work.
Well, the Indians, I mean, let's face it, their division has been described as...
hey, there's a baseball.
Yeah, right there on that guy.
Yeah, right here.
But they talk about that
baseball face.
That AL Central, Kevin. I mean, no matter how you want to classify it, the critics will say it's kind of a 1 tuxedo, 4 T-shirts division.
It's over. It's over. I mean, they're going to win the division hands down. They've been in first place since really 1995. I mean, they've got to get ready for the playoffs.
Diaz putting one on the ground, bobbled by Sprague, and he has no time to recover and throw out the slow-moving catcher. Now that's an error. He's up to number 20 this year to lead all Major League third basemen. It is scored an error.
And it's not like Ed Sprague is not used to playing on AstroTurf because he played on it in Toronto. This ball got on him quickly. Just got off the tip of the glove. And he's playing normal third base depth right there. 2-hopper, gets in front of it. He just boxed it. Hit him on the heel of the glove.
Now the pitcher's spot here is Bartolo Colon. And all the Pirates are thinking bunt. Jason Schmidt has to be thinking strikeout. A whiff of Colon. Sorry.
Well, Sprague is so far in at third and on that turf that what Colon wants to try to do is bunt it to first base, because Young has to wait longer.
Bunt is slapped foul. 0-1 the count to Colon. He's a career .333 hitter, though.
Well, of course, they don't hit in the American League, but the Indians are in the playoffs so often and go to the World Series that these guys do have some at-bats.
Well, he's proud of that one hit. Against the St. Louis Cardinals. There's the bunt. Sprague races down to grab it. His play is to first, and Colon is out. He'll take that. The sacrifice scooting Diaz to second. Kenny Lofton coming up.
That's a nice bunt right there. We're going to see Morris break right here. Young will charge in. Let's take a look at the bunt. And that's a nice bunt right out in front of home plate. Sprague fields it. No chance at second base. Morris covering. Takes the throw for the out. Good job by Colon.
And again, these Indians, no matter how poorly they might play, they still win the AL Central by default. And that question of motivation, how do you keep up over the course of 162 games? What drives you to keep playing hard every day? Kenny Lofton, though, and again, we mentioned it all kind of starts at him at the top of the order. If he's out there scrapping every day, that sets a good tone for everybody else.
That .416 leadoff percentage right there, on base percentage for a leadoff hitter, that's what you want. Anything over 400 is very good. And Kenny's at .416. He's getting on base over 40% of the time.
Well, he's followed by Vizquel, who's up around 40%. Alomar, 42%.
And that means he's drawn some walks. He's getting his base hits, working the count. He's setting the table, as we talked about at the Open.
And really, Kevin, all up and down this lineup, you know, everybody talks about the Indians and their team batting average up close to 300. But what's lost sometimes is this team has walked more than 400 times already, most in the American League. Lofton backed off the plate. The count goes to 3-1. with the runner at second. And just one out. Lofton makes it 2 on, 1 out. On base twice in 3 innings.
Well, there he took a walk. He shot a double to left his first at bat. Now he takes a walk, getting on base.
Now, do you see a theme here?
How about that? That's easy to circle. I mean, but this right here is what we're talking about. When you have men on base all the time to set the table for Tomei and Manny Ramirez, you're going to score a lot of runs and going to drive in a lot of runs.
So if there's a concern then, what's left is pitching. The ERA for the Indians this year a full point higher than what they were at this point last year. Do they need to go out and grab a number 1 starter? Vizquel takes outside.
Well, I don't think you mortgage the farm for it because Colon certainly has the ability to be a number 1 starter. So does Jared Wright. That's just a matter of time. Once they both get their mechanics ironed out, particularly Jared Wright, which he's been working on, he gets better command of his pitches. And you heard Hargrove talking about Colon. He's got to keep the ball down, still work both sides of the plate, and use that four-seam fastball up in the zone when you got the count to do it, where you can't get hurt.
Little loop shot, base hit left field for Vizquel. Diaz being coaxed around third. Here comes a throw from Martin. Osic's tag. He got it.
Take a look at Al Martin here. Nice little base hit to left center. Al Martin charging hard, 2 hops, 3 hops. Quick release, he throws a strike to Osick, going to his left, ranges back to his right, and no slide from Diaz. If Diaz slides to the inside of home plate, he scores. No doubt about it. Take a look at Diaz, no jump. He freezes right there because of the ball hit it towards short. But the problem is he doesn't slide. If he slides, Osick can't get him. You got to slide and go to the inside of home plate, and Diaz did not do that.
And for golly's sakes, he's a catcher. I mean, you know, he sees that coming the other way all the time.
I mean, you can see, you read the catcher, you see that Osick is going to his left, so you've got to go to the inside of home plate, to the fair side of home plate to score.
So it's 2 on, 2 out, still scoreless, 0-1 to Alomar. And the ball getting away from Osick. His throw to third is not in time. Lofton went in standing up. And if he had toppled off the bag, he would have been tagged out.
I think Osick surprised him that he got to that ball so quickly. Kenny kind of took that for granted. Osick jumps on the ball, and he's going to throw a strike to third baseman Ed Sprague. And you're absolutely right. There's a chance Lofton could have gone by the bag and gotten his foot off the bag. 2 plays in a row, we don't see a slide. Don't do that at home. Slide.
So it's 2nd and 3rd, which means a base hit from Alomar could make it 2-0. Change up floating outside, 2-1.
Now, Robbie saw that curveball for the strikeout in the first inning, and you know that he'll be looking for that at some point in this sequence.
Well, you saw the numbers with runners in scoring position. And then once Alomar cashes in runners, he's usually brought home by Ramirez. And on it goes, down to Tomei, Justice, etc.
Well, here's the 2-strike count that you would expect Schmidt to try to get Alomar again with that overhand curveball. Now, Robbie saw it once, so he shouldn't be fooled by it this time.
He's not. He tags it to left field. Martin drifting to the corner. He won't get it. It bounces out of play. And 2 runs scored.
Well, that's what makes Alomar such a great hitter, and this Indian ball club in general. They make adjustments. Robbie struck out in the first inning badly on a curveball. Good hitters are not going to look bad twice. Fool me once, you're not going to fool me twice. And Alomar sat curveball. He got curveball, and watch what he does with it. 2-2 curve up in the zone. I'll take it the other way. Great piece of hitting by Robbie Alomar. That's why he's an all-star year in and year out. One of the reasons. No chance for Al Martin.
So the 2 RBI double. That with 2 out in the inning, and now Manny Ramirez. Now Jason Schmidt, by the way, after each start that he makes, Kevin, he enters detailed reports on how he approached each batter. Enters that into a computer. He's also got a section for umpires charting which ones are likely to ring up a hitter on 0-2. So he will go into that computer tonight, rest assured, and make a little notation about Alomar and the curveball.
And of course, the 2-2 curve he just threw was not a good one. That was a hanging curveball. Alomar still was looking curve, whether it's a hanger or not. But you don't want to make a mistake with it. If you're going to bounce, you're going to throw it to him 2-2, you still try to throw that one down at the ankles.
Those are not end of season numbers we just showed you, by the way. I mean, that's current for Manny Ramirez. It is July 15th. 25 jacks, 96 runs batted in.
Yeah, whoa!
Osick trying to frame the pitch. Could not sell it to Kerwin Danley. You take a look at the American League RBI leaders. Griffey is closest to Manny Ramirez.
Yeah, Griffey has 29 home runs, 81 RBIs, and he's still 15 back of Manny Ramirez.
Socked into right field. Adrian Brown back shy of the track, and that'll end the inning. But Roberto Alomar with a 2-out, 2 RBI double. That's got the Indians out to the 2-0 lead. Way Clipper rolling down the river. Cleveland rolling out to a 2-0 lead, although it could have been worse. And we'll show you why again in just a moment. First, Keith Osick to the plate for the Pirates. Bottom of the 3rd against Bartolo Colon.
I'll tell you, Osick's playing aggressively. Made a nice tag on Diaz. Save 1 run.
A little squibber. Diaz almost grabbed the bat instead of the ball, but he makes the right choice. And he does throw out Keith Osick. Now, as we mentioned, Kevin, I'm going to have you take us back to the Al Martin play from left field, top of the 3rd.
Throwing out Diaz right here to Keith Osick. Watch this throw from Martin. Goes to the left of Keith Osick. Now watch the runner, Diaz. All right, he's right here. He's got to go to the outside. But look at Robbie Alomar. He can't see him right there. Robbie should be over here to tell him to slide to the inside. It's too late. Diaz kind of looks back, looks at Robbie, and is surprised that he's tagged out. Need a little bit of help there. Partially Diaz's fault because you have to see that the catcher's going to his left to catch the ball. You have to be able to see that. Number 2, no excuse for not sliding. But number 3, Robbie Alomar didn't help him correctly. Robbie was there, but he didn't give him enough eyesight, and Diaz didn't see him.
All of that and a terrific throw from Al Martin conspiring to keep the game scoreless for a moment. Alomar then came up and lined one to left that got by Martin. The 2 RBI double, and that's where we are, 2-0 Cleveland. And now here's Colon against the pitcher Jason Schmidt, in danger of walking it. And he does on 4 pitches. And that's the kind of lack of focus that the Indians just don't want to see from their young pitcher. Now, folks, next Thursday, Baseball Thursday, gives you a choice. Some of you will see these Indians taking on the hot Toronto Blue Jays, or over in the National League, some of you will see the Diamondbacks and the Astros, 2 teams battling for first in their respective divisions. Tony Fernandez still leading the American League for those Toronto Blue Jays with that .372 average. Williams and Biggio just among the All-Stars that'll be out and sparkling in that Diamondbacks-Astros game.
Tell you, Biggio with 38 doubles. Every time he hits the ball, he's looking for 2. He turns normal singles into doubles as good as anybody I've ever seen.
And he's running around tonight, or will be coming up, for his manager Larry Dierker back on the bench tonight. Congratulations to Larry Dierker, and certainly all good things to him.
Absolutely. Happy he's back. And his Hawaiian shirts, right?
Yeah. In fact, in Houston, they're encouraging the fans to all wear Hawaiian shirts tonight.
I think it would be appropriate.
Now that's 6 in a row that have missed now from Bartolo Colon.
And there's really no excuse for that, Josh, because this guy throws too well. And that's exactly what Hargrove was talking about before the game. I mean, he's got to minimize his pitch count, keep the ball down, not lose concentration, not take things for granted, and go deeper into the ball game with less pitches. He's only averaging 6 innings per start this year. And last year, Mike let him go 135, 140 pitches a few times and thought it wore him out for the second half. He was not as effective after the All-Star break because of that.
Also first time through the order, just one ball that reached the outfield. There's the second. And Lofton locks it up. Kind of an awkward route to get there, but then once he got there, he was able to surround it.
And he also took a hit away from Al Martin, who's looking for his 21-game hitting streak. Nice play from Kenny Lofton. This ball was hit well by Martin going to left center, and Kenny reads it all the way, good concentration, and spears it just before it hits the ground. Snow cones it. Ball kind of hung up there, was hit so hard by Al Martin.
So it's still Schmidt, the pitcher at first, and here's Adrian Brown. One-time 48th round draft pick. Adrian Brown, who until last year was really known only as a guy who got married at home plate down in Lynchburg, Virginia. But he was up to Double-A Carolina in '97, used his speed to beat out 42 infield hits that year at Double-A, Kevin. And I mean, that's a lot.
That's a ton. Ideal for the number 2 spot with that kind of speed, kind of slap the ball around. Set the table for Giles and Young.
Oh, he's part of that young Pirates mix. Heck, they've had to go young. More of a payroll issue than anything else.
Brian Giles.
Swept towards first. That is a foul ball. The Indians go ahead and complete the play, but it had been called foul by Mike Winters at first. Einar Diaz was halfway to his own dugout. He thought the inning was over.
Well, it's where the ball crosses the first base bag. It's not where it lands. The Indians thought it was a fair ball. Tomey made a nice play to Colon covering. And Colon better get over there quickly on anything hit to the right side because Brown can fly. Take a look. Right there. That's very close, but ruled foul by Mike Winters. First base umpire. That's 100.
Yeah, that's the end of the inning. That's triple digits to get him. 4 strikeouts for Bartolo Colon. It's 2-0 Tribe at the end of 3. Could it be Pirates and Indians fans actually hanging out together? You wouldn't see that with Steelers and Browns fans here at Three Rivers.
Brother or sister rivalry?
But when you talk Pittsburgh-Cleveland, I guess, Kevin, that's what you think about first. Jack Ham dragging down Greg Pruitt in the backfield.
A lot of people don't realize it's only about a 2-hour and 15-minute drive from Cleveland to Pittsburgh and vice versa.
Well, the two cities just a 2-hour drive away from each other. Of course, the NFL rivalry gets going again this fall. But right now, interleague baseball is the discussion. And it's Jason Schmidt against Jim Tomey. 2-0 Cleveland in the top of the 4th inning. There are some interleague battles that just seem to work innately. You know, this is one of them.
Well, on the West Coast, you've got the Dodgers and Angels going at it tonight. This one right here, Pirates and Indians. Mets and Yankees is a good one.
AL Central against NL Central. There's Tomey. Rips one over to Morris at second. That's the first out here in the top of the 4th inning. We've got a game break for you right now. I'll tell you about the Phillies and the Red Sox. And the Phillies up 1-0. But Jose Offerman's going to come up and he's going to hit. Yes, Jose Offerman is going to hit his 4th home run of the year. Red Sox now leading the Phillies 4-1. That game's in the 3rd inning.
Got a little off-speed pitch for Offerman. Did him a favor there. A little changeup he pulled out of the ballpark in Fenway. We didn't see any hitting Tuesday night in Fenway. Nobody hit the green monster. All those big right-handed hitters in the National League were expecting to pound that wall, and Pedro Martinez and company just blew them away.
2-0 the count to David Justice. Now with Pedro Martinez doing what he did in Boston on Tuesday night. We're watching Bartolo Colon out there tonight throwing 99 and even 100 miles an hour. Another native of the Dominican Republic.
Well, that last pitch to end the 3rd inning for Colon was 100 miles an hour to strike out Adrian Brown. I think he's loose.
Yeah. Schmidt missing to go to 3-1.
Well, he's trying to use those changeups that Gene Lamont was talking about to the left-handers. Back-to-back changeups right there to Justice, but now he's behind 3-1. See if he goes after him with a fastball or throws a 3rd changeup in a row.
Fastball shin high for a strike, 3-2.
Now he can come back with a changeup and try it one more time. This is what he's got to learn to do, is throw it in these types of counts. Too many times he comes with fastball and gets hurt in 3-2 counts. Good changeup. Good idea. Nice call from Osick.
And you know, Kevin, you don't normally get a chance to say this about the Cleveland lineup, but because of interleague play, meaning the pitcher hits, because of the fact that Fryman is out and Sandy Alomar is out, you really do get somewhat, the emphasis on the word somewhat, of a breather at the bottom 3rd of the lineup now. That's right after Justice. Enrique Wilson, who granted is a .309 hitter, but is a young hitter and has only 120 at-bats this year. Einar Diaz instead of Sandy Alomar, and then Bartolo Colon, the pitcher. That's about as easy as it's going to get when you're talking about the Cleveland offense.
And the key is the pitcher hitting in a National League ballpark. When you've got the DH in the American League, it's tough. There are no outs in that lineup.
And again, that's why you'd love to capture Justice here.
Although Bartolo Colon did put down a nice sacrifice bunt on this AstroTurf.
After the busted bat, new lumber. And we've got the last word. Larry Dierker, who we were just talking about, is going to be Romy's guest at midnight. Jim Rome tells it like it is on the Nightline of sports talk shows tonight at midnight on Fox Sports Net. And you see what the Astros were doing with the Dierker not in the dugout. Lost their lead just as Schmidt loses Justice. That's exactly what he did not want to do. You put Justice on, now you've got to go get Wilson.
Well, Houston lost their lead all right. They lost it to Cincinnati, and that club is definitely for real, and Cincinnati is winning 7-1 tonight. Now here's that throw by Al Martin again. I mean, a bullet to Osick. And a nice tag. Again, the slide was not there by Diaz, and that's the mistake he made.
And again, that's why we are 2-0 instead of 3-0 or something beyond. Diaz now on deck as Wilson has a count of 1-0. Trying to bust him inside, 2-0. And Keith Osick out to the mound.
Well, Osick's telling them exactly what you were talking about, Josh. These are the guys you got to get out. You got to get Wilson, Diaz, and Colon out. That's exactly why he's out there. There's no excuse to go 2-0 to Wilson. He is hitting .309, but he's not the same kind of hitter as what you have in the first 6 guys in his lineup.
Well, the Indians challenging the 1931 Yankees for the record. Most runs scored in one season, that record 1,067. The 99 Tribe on a pace for 1,063. They've got 4 runs to make up. There's a strike. It carved the outside corner. Well, the Indians had a 20 in a game a month ago against Tampa Bay. And already this year, they've been in double digits 15 times. Runner going, and the ball slapped near short. Mike Benjamin's play is to first, and he gets it there. Justice being sent, that keeps him out of a potential inning-ending double play. You know, the Indians, I will say this, Kevin, it's kind of like the Florida stone crab. They lose an appendage, they just grow it right back. Jeremy Burnett, Sean Casey, Matt Williams, well, we don't need you. We'll just grow somebody else. We'll just stick somebody else in there, and it'll be fine.
You sure this isn't Steve Lyons right there?
You mean a separated at birth thing right there?
on steroids or something. Burnett's is a heck of a hitter. 38 home runs last year. You're absolutely right. The Indians are fortunate enough to have that kind of talent in their organization since general manager John Hart took over. So when he does make a trade, he gets something good in return as well.
Diaz rakes one foul. Well, by the way, if you needed to discern between Burnett's and Psycho, can't see Psycho hanging in there right to the last round in the home run hitting contest.
No. I tell you, Burnett's was impressive Monday night in that contest. He was having a lot of fun. He was hitting some balls inside the old pesky foul pole there and went right to the last round with Ken Griffey Jr.
Isn't that something about the All-Star game? The home run hitting contest comes down to a couple of lefties, with the green monster just winking out there in left field for the right-handers.
Surprised everybody. McGuire hit 13 home runs in round 1. And he hit him onto the Mass Turnpike. He hit one literally very close to the turnpike, which is beyond the left field wall, way beyond it.
One hopper to short. Benjamin throws it across to Young. That's the inning. So the walk does not end up hurting Jason Schmidt. Will play the bottom of the 4th. It's still Cleveland by 2. In Pittsburgh, you're looking at the architects of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Cam Bonifay, the general manager, and the man in the Fox logoed shirt. Thank you very much. There's Kevin McClatchy. That's the managing general partner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Always happy to wear our shirt. The Sherwin-Williams trivia question. We'd like you to name the last brother combo to play with the Indians at the same time. That is before the brothers Alomar, Roberto and Sandy. Chew on that one. Like you would a Primanti Brothers sandwich here at Three Rivers. And we'll get you the answer coming up. First, here's the Pirates, bottom of the 4th inning. Brian Giles eyeballs the strike. In this, his first game against his old organization. So far, a walk. Two strikes to Brian Giles.
One thing I like about Giles, I mentioned his first at bat, is that open stance. So when he strides, instead of stepping across his body, diving toward the plate, he has a short stride going right toward the pitcher. And what that does, with these feet right here open, watch his front foot. It's going to stride right toward Cologne. It's going to go right here. And what that does, it enables you to hit the inside pitch better and hit the outside pitch. If you dive across the plate, what happens is you block your hips off and it slows your bat down.
99 miles an hour missing away.
Well, right here, that's where he doesn't like it right here, and that's why he opened that stance up, is so that he doesn't block the inside the hips off, and now he actually hits the inside pitch better than he used to. That's why teams, they try to pound inside, because he used to dive too much. Now he's changed that, and now he's become a 300 hitter. Here's where they try to go. Look at this position right here. Sitting up inside, he's able to fight it off. That's a tough pitch. I mean, it was right in this area, and he still fought it off and stayed alive. But that's where they try to go. He chokes up on the bat. 256 in these types of situations right here.
That's a pretty good average with 2 strikes.
Especially a guy that throws 98 miles an hour.
Yeah, the major league average when you've got 2 strikes on you is less than 200. In fact, it's about $180. Tony Gwynn perennially is up around 280, which is why he is heading to the Hall of Fame.
Now that's a good swing on a 98 fastball. That ball was middle in. Much quicker than he used to be with that short stride.
And you know, Kevin, Colon, the kind of guy that once he sees a guy is tipping away his fastball, he'll just keep coming with it, saying, hey, let me see if he can keep doing this.
Now they were trying to go away because they know he's on the inside pitch, and they made a mistake middle in, and Giles just missed it. He just missed hitting that thing out. So they're going away again.
Lost his bat, and he fouled the ball.
A little off-speed pitch. There's some respect because Colon is throwing hard at 98 miles an hour, but they go off speed. It's a good matchup right here. Good battle between Colon and Giles in this sequence.
And if he's able to worm his way on base somehow, you set it up for Young and Sprague. Pirates trying to battle back from down 2-0.
Colon wants the breaking ball.
And it's rolled towards short, or rather second base. Alomar to Jim Thome. 1 down, bottom of the 4th inning. And folks, again, we remind you that Chris Myers will be talking with Nolan Ryan on Going Deep Sunday at 9 on Fox Sports Net. Please check your local listings. The man with these 7 no-hitters. Kevin Young takes a look at a fast one. Strike 1 called. This is actually Bartolo Colon's 2nd career start against the Pirates, and he dealt him a 4-hit shutout last year. That was Cleveland's only win in the Interleague Series from '98.
Yeah, that was back on June the 8th of last year. A little over a year ago. So the Pirates have yet to score off of Colon in over 13 innings.
Triple digits, down and outside. And the thing about Colon, you know, we've mentioned that he throws 99 or 100 in the 1st inning, now in the 4th inning. But we've seen him at various points this season throw 99 miles an hour in the 8th and 9th inning.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Towards short and by Vizquel into center. Just the 2nd hit off of Bartolo Colon. That'll bring up Ed Sprague.
That last pitch had a little cut to it. A little movement going away, and Young was able to get some good wood on it and hit an AstroTurf base hit to center field. If that's on grass, Vizquel gobbles that up.
And you look at Sprague stepping in, Kevin. This is a guy who seemed all washed up last September. He was on the bench in Oakland, off to free agency, where he got 35 cents on the dollar for his services from the year before.
Well, you see his batting stance, he's changed it from Toronto days, where he used to be straight up and down with the bat. He's laying it back flat, much like Mickey Tettleton did years ago before he retired. And then when he goes to stride, what it does, it totally relaxes him, and then when he goes to stride, he gets the bat in hitting position. But to start off, he just kind of lays it nice and relaxed, lays it back flat, straight up and down, then he loads up nicely.
And if he keeps on keeping on, you're talking about a 30 home run, nearly 100 RBI season for Ed Sprague.
Nothing wrong with that. I like this because he's really made some good adjustments. It's to relax him in the setup position and not get locked up too soon. And now watch him. He'll just go to load up as the ball's on the way. Doesn't really matter how you start as a hitter. If you've got to get to that hitting position somehow. This is the way Ed Sprague likes to do it, and it's working for him.
Although maybe one byproduct, he is not as quick to get out of the way anymore. He leads the American League in getting hit by pitches 13 times.
Well, when you see a guy with a stance like that laying the bat back flat, watch right here. See, then he's going to get it up into position as he strides. You think you can get in on him. That's why he's getting hit so much, because as a catcher you see that, you go, there's no way you can get that bat back up in position. So I'm going to pound him under the hands. Right here, okay? Now what he's going to do is get this bat up in this position as he goes to stride. Watch right here, right there. Pow. So you try to pitch him up under the hands thinking he can't get through it, and he didn't right there. So he's got to start a little bit sooner. When you lay the bat back like that, you got to start your load position a little bit sooner than you would normally. It's a real timing mechanism. You really have to have great timing to do that. But he's done it this year. It's worked for him.
Another 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Missing down in the dirt. We go to 3-2. 1 on, 1 out. It's 2-0 Cleveland.
Well, Ed also has pretty good power to right center. That's most likely where he'll take a fastball if he gets one here toward right center.
Kevin Young on the move. And he chops it away foul to Zed Sprague, so we'll see another 3-2 pitch.
Now, Gene Lamont likes to run. He likes to hit and run, put people in motion. I remember him from White Sox days years ago, 1993, when his ball club won the division. He squeezes, he makes things happen, and he's not about to sit back and let Cologne shut him out again. If he gets base runners, he's going to put them in motion. I would expect Young to run again here, 3-2.
Rookie of the Year candidate Warren Morris up next. If the Pirates can stay out of the double play. Young goes. And it is lifted to shallow right field. Alomar back. On comes Ramirez. He makes the catch. And credit Young for hightailing it back to first.
That's a great play by Manny Ramirez. Take a look at Young. He's not sure if it's going to drop in. Look at Manny Ramirez. He's got his eyes on it the whole way, and at the last instant gives it that basket catch to make sure the ball doesn't hit the ground. Nice play. A little bit of Willie Mays, who we saw Tuesday night at the Century All-Stars. That's one of the things Mike Hargrove has talked Manny up about, is his defense. He said everybody talks about his offense, but his defense is outstanding. He's made himself into a very good right fielder.
Well, he's worked awfully hard, and Mike Hargrove points out that even a couple of years ago, before the games, he'd be off kind of goofing off in the clubhouse. He is all business now before a game. Morris takes too high.
Oh, Cologne is just blowing. I mean, that fastball, 98 miles an hour.
Well, you become kind of numb to it, you know, unless it trips the radar at triple digits. It's kind of a yawn and a shrug. Ah, there's another 98.
I mean, right up in here in our box, you're gonna see that velocity. 98, 97, a couple of times he's hit 100. There it is, 96. That's a slow one. And he throws that two-seamer also. He'll throw that sinker, and he throws that at 92, 93 with movement. It'll go down and away to Morris right here.
Well, he's got tremendous stuff, but he's also got an ERA of 5.35. As the Indians continue to ask themselves, do they need to add a starting pitcher?
99.
99 to make it a 2-1 count. The argument for adding a starter crystallizes this way, Kevin. In the Indians' last 8 postseason series, the Indians' record in Game 1 of those series, with assumably their best on the mound, 0-8. Rip and a miss. So essentially, when the Indians' best go up against another playoff team's best, be it Boston's Pedro Martinez or the Yankees, well, heck, pick it, David Cone, Roger Clemens, whoever they're running out there, they don't necessarily have the advantage. Runner goes. Cologne wasn't watching, but he does deal a strike to Morris to make it a moot point. 5 strikeouts for Cologne through 4, an inning that included this catch from Manny Ramirez to keep it 2-0 Indians. Baseball Thursday in Pittsburgh tonight. You see Point State Park, the confluence of the Allegheny, the Monongahela, entering into the Ohio River. See, 3 rivers. And that's the name of the stadium. Let's get you to, that would have been a cool trivia question, but sadly, here it was, the Sherwin-Williams trivia question tonight. We wanted you to name the last brother combination to play with the Indians at the same time before the Alomars. It was the Perrys. Jim and Gaylord winning games together in 74 and 75. It didn't seem to help. The Indians were, shall we say, not a very strong club in the 1970s, but the Indians have had their share of brother stories over the decades. Bartolo Colon gets what is called a taste of his own medicine right there. Gets some high cheese. And he's down on the count 0-1. 2-0 our score, Cleveland up. Now, Jason Schmidt can't bring it in there at 100 miles an hour, but has to get some satisfaction watching Cologne wave and miss at one that's 92 and 93.
Cologne swinging for the fences. Swing hard in case you hit it, Bartolo. That's what he's doing. I tell you what, though, Keith Osick did a very good thing last inning. After Justice walked with 1 out, 2-0 count to Wilson, he went out and talked to Jason Smith, said, hey, we got to get Wilson and Diaz out so we can start the inning off with this guy right here, Cologne.
And look at this, it's tagged in the center, a base hit. The Indians fans go nuts. That's his single trot.
He kept swinging hard until he hit it, and he did.
Bartolo Colon is a lifetime 500 hitter, ladies and gentlemen. He's 2 for 4.
It's another fastball right down the middle. No, he knows it right away. Base hit.
That's one of those Charlie Brown line drives, too. The cap goes flying. Now, he did have his eyes open, it looked like, Bartolo Colon. That maybe was not an accident.
Ouch. It still stung his hands. You see him shake his left hand there? That's why he wore batting gloves.
Well, let's see what kind of base runner he is. Kenny Lofton takes outside.
Ed Sprague looking for a bunt up at third base. I think you want to hit your way on, though, with the pitcher at first base. You really don't want him running the bases that long if you can help it.
Little loop shot heading for the seats. That is safely out of play. 1-1.
But that's the advantage of Kenny Lofton. He can draw the third baseman in and then slap the ball by him. Of course, that's the same with Vizquel on deck and Alomar. It's the advantage of these first 3 guys in the order. Any of the 3 will bunt at any time.
Foul tipped.
Those are fun right off the mask.
Did you have a flashback right
Yes,
there?
I did. And that was on an 83-mile-an-hour pitch. When you get fouled back to your mask on a 99-mile-an-hour pitch, man, you feel it.
What's the hardest you ever got?
I mean, that stuff protects you, but you still feel it. Oh, I've had guys that threw 96, 97 that had balls fouled right back into the mask, and you get jolted. Believe me, you feel it. It knocks you back.
Does the batter ever say anything to you at that point, like sorry, or no?
No, he picks you up by the mask because you're on the ground. Need some help there, Kevin? You also smell the burn of the bat when a guy's able to foul a ball straight back like that on a good fastball. You really smell it. The wood.
Yes! Strike 3 called to Kenny Lofton. Now Cologne took Schmidt right up the middle into center. But Schmidt comes out and gets the 5-time All-Star Kenny Lofton. Now, folks, let me tell you about some IRL racing action. The Cobalt Mechanics Tools 500 from Atlanta. Kenny Breck looks to defend his victory from a year ago at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Sunday at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox Sports Net. Kenny Breck can become the all-time victory leader in Pep Boys Indy Racing League history. All right, now Vizquel shortens up, and he's ahead in the count 1-0.
Well, that last pitch to Lofton was a good fastball on the inside corner. That was paint. It got Kenny looking. Vizquel's having a heck of a year swinging the bat.
Yeah, but he's no Bartolo Colon. Vizquel's only at 328. Colon's at 500.
And shaking his hands all the way down the line.
You bet. Well, Jason Schmidt with those 75 pitches, one of them was scorched into center field by Bartolo Colon, who is literally doing it all tonight. Colon the base runner with one out, and Schmidt makes it 3-0 to Vizquel.
Well, that's not what you want to do with Alomar, Ramirez, and Tomei coming up. Just put Vizquel on as well. Now Omar may take another one just to keep working the count.
And he skies it back behind second base. Benjamin retreating. The shortstop makes the call and the catch. Here's Alomar, who's responsible for the scoring in this game. Two-run double in the third inning. Going to the opposite field, he went down to get the curveball, and he arced it beyond Al Martin. Two-run score. Two-run score, you know.
I heard that. Good call.
That guy was terrific. Who was it?
Who was that guy?
Give that guy a raise. He was great. Alomar pushing the bunt and fouls it instead.
Well, we talked about all three guys might bunt at any time, and all of them in this inning, Lofton, Vizquel, and Alomar, have showed bunt. And what that does, it draws Ed Sprague in. Right now, Ed Sprague's about even with the bag, but just it gives you left range at third base, so you can knock the ball right by him. Increase your batting average if you're the hitter.
There's that curve again, and this time Alomar just able to deflect it away. It's 0-2.
Well, with 2 strikes 2 times in a row, Jason Schmidt has gone curveball. I think he's going to gas him up with a fastball. One time he got Robbie on a good curveball for the strikeout. Last time he hung one, and Robbie hit it for the 2-run double. Yep. Change the eyesight. Move his feet. No diving on my curveball. Now he can double up with that fastball now. Go right back up in there again.
Oh, instead he changes up, puts it down in the dirt. Yeah. 2-2.
And now it changes the whole complexion. If he doubles up on him, Robbie doesn't know what's coming. Now 2-2. Robbie's got a better idea. That was the time to do it. Just double up on him with the fastball up and in. Now he can't miss because he'll go 3-2.
Alomar strokes it right to short. Benjamin makes the play. Bartolo Colon did not make it in a scoring position. He ends up stranded at first following his hit, but you know what? He hasn't allowed a runner to get in a scoring position on him. It's still 2-0. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. You saw Pedro Martinez throwing sunflower seeds. He was throwing absolute pellets behind poor.
It looked like a sunflower seed.
Poor little
That's small. Tuesday night.
Yeah, the National League hitters didn't have a chance. Now, folks, we want to tell you about the MasterCard All-Century team. If you go to foxsports.com, you'll learn more about the MasterCard All-Century team and how you can win the chance to sit with members of the team at the 1999 World Series. Willie Stargell just might have your vote. A man that reached the upper deck here at Three Rivers 4 times in his playing career. Not easy to do.
That's where he's looking right now, is that upper deck. He could hit. Great guy. Got a chance to do a fantasy camp with him years ago. Very personable guy.
And loved to hear in Pittsburgh. That's where one of them went. Mike Benjamin on the ground. Vizquel leaping and throwing. He got him. And the artistry of Omar Vizquel seemingly on display every single night. At the All-Star game, you saw that little glove hand flip behind the bag at second. This time Cologne gets helped out by this little play in the hole.
Well, of all the great shortstops in the American League, Omar Vizquel definitely has the best hands, no doubt about it. Throws off balance, all in one motion, and gets it over to Jim Thome. Look at that, knows exactly where he's at. Got a leap in the air to get enough on the baseball and gets it over there. Just ahead of Mike Benjamin.
Well, Vizquel, the two-time All-Star, you're right, Kevin, for his defense more than his offense. As Keith Osick is at the plate, ahead in the count 1-0. Much like Ozzie Smith, 13 times over an All-Star. But Ozzie Smith, though, wasn't competing against all-world offensive shortstops in the National League at the time. The NL in the 80s, Smith lapped the field in a universe of Steve Jeltzes and Sammy Khalifas. In the American League today, Vizquel's competing with Jeter, Rodriguez, Garcia Parra. That's a tough room. Very tough.
And I think those other three shortstops, Garcia Parra, Rodriguez, and Jeter, will probably tell you that Vizquel has the best hands of all of them. They all have more power, no doubt about it.
2-2 the count to Keith Osick, who's filling in admirably so far for Jason Kendall. His first game in for the ailing Kendall. Now, he did this 3 times. Throwing out 3, count them 3, Chicago Cubs. See you, Sammy.
Quick feet, quick release, playing aggressive behind the plate tonight. Did a nice tag on a throw from Al Martin to get his opposing catcher Diaz out at home plate, save 1 run.
And it's not often you see a big league catcher, backup catcher, with a 2-year contract. Osick has got one, and thank goodness, trying to step in and replace those numbers.
This is huge right here. 44%. That's well above the major league average. National League average is 33%.
That's a very Kendall-ish thing to do right there. Draw the 1-out walk, set it up. Jason Kendall, I mean, he's everywhere, even though he's injured.
What's that? The Bear's injured too. There's that right ankle.
A Bammer Bear, those will be handed out Sunday. Kendall Crunch cereal just on the market today. Frosted cornflakes, and you see it's a fat-free food. Try saying that several times fast.
Nope, not on the air.
Go, Jason!
Very, very wise move by you. Jason Schmidt pops up the bunt. Back into the second row. Well, Jason Kendall, even though he was injured, showed up at the press conference for his cereal launch. Albert Bell completely healthy a couple of years ago, as Cleveland Indians fans can tell you, and he was not in the mood to promote his candy bar. This year, they came out with Albert Bell cereal, and he didn't want to talk about that either. But Jason Kendall, knowing that the proceeds all go to the Salvation Army, he was in a very chatty mood about his breakfast food.
Looking down at the signs, bunt. Bunt is definitely on. That leads the ball club right there. Sacrifice bunts at 9.
This one foul. We're at 1-2 with 1 on, 1 out. The Indians still leading on the Roberto Alomar 2 RBI double in the 3rd inning.
Well, when you're 2 for 31 and 0.65 batting average, pretty good chance you're going to have to bunt again, even with 2 strikes.
Osick the lead from first. Here's the bunt coming. And that's it. Thanks for playing the game. Schmidt unable to get the bunt down. 2 out in the inning.
That would be a strikeout. Fouling off the 3rd strike with a bunt.
And a half a dozen strikeouts for Cologne now.
dropped the barrel below the hands a little bit, got underneath it and fouled it back. And of course, when you're throwing like Cologne, that's not an easy pitch to bunt, a 95, 96, 97 mile an hour fastball.
So the inning left to Al Martin, who, remember, has a 20-game hitting streak on the line.
And he had one taken away in the third inning on a nice catch from Kenny Lofton in center field. Martin drilled a line drive to left center, and Kenny took it away from him.
On a hot, humid night, on into the fifth inning, Bartolo Colon still throwing 99 miles an hour.
Well, Al Martin has come back and very well could be the comeback player of the year. Hitting .306 coming in. He's opened up his stance as well, and part of that is from their hitting coach, Lloyd McClendon, encouraging that.
In the air to left. Hitting streak still on hold. Final out of the inning. We are through 5 in Pittsburgh. The Indians behind Bartolo Colon, leading it 2-0. Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Zima, a few degrees cooler. In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Three Rivers Stadium to be precise. Josh Lewin, Kevin Kennedy with you, and thank you for making Fox Sports Net Baseball Thursday a part of your night. The Pirate fans getting all pumped up for the new PNC Park, the future home of the Pirates. Scheduled for the grand unveiling opening day of the year 2001. Come across the 6th Street Bridge. It's only going to have 38,000 seats, by the way. It'll be certainly the most intimate of any of the newly constructed parks. Natural grass, asymmetrical fences, looks pretty good.
Well, there'll be some home runs in the Allegheny River right there in right field, that's for sure. It's got to go 440 feet into the water. And there's some guys in the big leagues that can definitely do that.
It's a new twist on going deep. Though I'm not sure exactly how deep the Allegheny is right there. Maybe going shallow.
This guy can do it, and he can hit him opposite field.
National League Central hosting American League Central. Interleague baseball from Pittsburgh. And you know the Indians, blessed by geography, being in that American League Central. But Kevin, back in 1994, there was a question of whether the Indians would go to the American League Central or the East. The marketing people for the Indians all said, let's go to the East. Let's keep the Yankees rivalry and more appropriate start times on the road for our TV purposes. The baseball people huddled and said, well, we think we should go to the Central, figuring that by default they could win that division every year. The baseball people won out, and so far they've been absolutely right.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. John Hart did not want to have to face the Yankees in Boston and teams that have the money, Baltimore. And so he was very smart in getting the Indians to move to the Central, and they've been dominating ever since. Of course, they've got some money now, too, because of the revenue created from Jacobs Field.
That's right, and that dynamic could change soon in the Central. The Tigers moving into their new ballpark next year. They expect to be competitive and to open up the checkbook. Kansas City is growing a good young team. The White Sox, I mean, heck, that is not a small market team. That's Chicago. Cannot really call that a small market. Lofton with the bunt right down towards Schmidt. He scoops it up, throws to first, barely in time. Well, that move that we mentioned, boy, it has treated the Indians just fine in terms of getting to the playoffs, but actually winning in the playoffs has been another story. This star-crossed franchise.
Well, the Indians won 100 games in 1995. They were 144. That was a strike year, but Jim Thome told me this year's team is the best team he's played on. That year in 95, they had some veterans like Dennis Martinez and Oral Hershiser in their rotation. This year, they've got young guys like Colon and Jared Wright to lead the rotation. So far tonight, Colon is showing that he has the ability. As we look at Jared Wright, Colon has the ability to be a #1 type pitcher. So does Jared Wright. They both have great stuff.
Vizquel out in front. If they want to add somebody, though, Kevin, If the A's fall out of it, Kenny Rogers will be available. If the Blue Jays fall out of it, it's possible David Wells could be there. Chuck Finley for the Anaheim Angels, maybe a possibility later. And if you want to go right-handed, well, there's rumors that Darryl Kyle is available from Colorado. Scott Erickson now from Baltimore.
Well, if they could get a Kurt Schilling, that's the guy you got to go after, and that's the guy I think John Hart would give up more talent for, more prospects for if he had to. I don't think for some of those other guys, I don't think he would give up much for Kenny Rogers, because Kenny's going to be a free agent anyway at the end of the year. In all likelihood, Kenny would love to go back to Texas.
And as for Schilling, as long as the Phillies are only 6 back in the loss column in the NL East, well, the Phillies are not looking to trade their star. Not right now.
Now, you've got to get a true ace if you're going to give up some more prospects, and the Indians have done that before. They've given up Burnitz and Giles, guys like that. You've got to get something good back.
Vizquel draws the walk. Alomar is coming up, and tomorrow it's world-class boxing coming up on FX, the FX Night of Champions. David the American Dream Reed defends his WBA Super Welterweight title for the first time against #1 contender Kevin Kelly. That's tomorrow at 10 Eastern and Pacific over on FX. Alomar 1 out of 3 and has driven in the 2 runs in this baseball game.
You know, the point with the Indians, if you're going to go after a pitcher, you want a guy that's going to be better than Colon and better than Jared Wright. And to me, in that group, the guy is Schilling. And if you don't get that, if you don't get a true ace, then what's the point? If you're getting to get a #2 or #3 starter, what's really the point? The point is they want to go to the World Series again and win it. And they need a Schilling type to do that.
They haven't won since 19 of 48. They just about won it in 1997. They were 3 outs away from getting that done. Jose Mesa couldn't hold the lead. Of course, back in 1954, that was the year they won 111 games in the regular season, but they were swept in the World Series. Fastball crackles in for a strike. It's 0-2 to Roberto Alomar.
Well, this is one of the big pickups that John Hart had this winter, signing Robbie Alomar, and obviously it's the biggest sign of the year. Getting a guy like that can hit third, a switch hitter, he can drive in runs, steal bases, score runs. He does it all. Besides that great defense.
Yeah, and it certainly ends the Indians' search for a second baseman. Remember, they dealt Carlos Baerga in July of '96. They tried 15 different second basemen in the following 2.5 years. Now they've locked up Alomar, and that position is closed. Oh, just missed, and it's 1-2.
Jason's still throwing the ball pretty hard, 92, 93. He's well over 100 pitches now, however, and this could be his last inning if the Indians keep working the count.
4 walks against 3 strikeouts for Jason Schmidt.
He's not due to hit but 5th, Josh, in the bottom of the 7th inning. But I think Gene Lamont's going to watch this pitch count on Schmidt.
Well, Schmidt, underrated. He came in with more wins than Cologne. 8-7.
Got 110 pitches right at this point. He won't go much past 120 tonight.
Got him on the outside black. Alomar twice a strikeout victim tonight.
Well, this time on the fastball. Good adjustment now from Schmidt against Alomar. They've had a good battle all night long. Schmidt's thrown breaking balls to Alomar. Alomar adjusted, got the 2-run double, the only 2 runs of this game. This time, Jason says, hey, no more curveballs. I'm going gas, and he paints him up.
This could well be either way. The last batter that Schmidt faces, you've got the lefties, Tomey and Justice 2 up after Manny Ramirez, and a lefty ready to go in the bullpen. Rip and a miss. Look out back there, Keith Osick.
Big swing from Manny Ramirez. This is in his zone. The pitch he likes. Out over the plate. Just missed it. Knocks a mask off of Keith Osick. That's fun also. He's had foul balls off the mask. Gets the mask knocked off by the bat. He's had plays at home plate tonight. He's mixing it up back there.
Vizquel a safe lead from first, and it's poured right over the corner, 0-2. Victor American League home run leaders, Manny Ramirez in a tie with Sean Green for third. Jose Canseco out now with the back problems, holding steady with 31.
Thank you, Jace.
Now Ramirez has had RBI chances in this game. He's been up with a man on in the first, the third, and now again here in the seventh.
Each time, however, with 2 outs, as it is right now. So he's got to get a hit to drive a run in. Got to be a double to score him right here, or a home run. Now Vizquel likes to run. He's got the count to do it. He's got a breaking ball count. Vizquel is usually on his own.
Not going. And Ramirez fouled it off his instep.
And Schmidt continues just to pound fastballs. No breaking ball right here. Fastball in under the hands of Ramirez. And let's take a look. Osick sitting up inside. Look at that movement. It's like he fouled it right off the knee. That's because of the movement. Going down and in. He hit on top of that ball. He couldn't get through the ball. That's what good movement will do to you.
Manny Ramirez broke in 1994. He was runner-up in the Rookie of the Year balloting that year to Bob Hamelin, who is now retired from baseball. A shot into center, base hit for Ramirez. It'll be 2 on, 2 out for Jim Thome. And we'll see if Schmidt is long for this baseball game.
Now this is a breaking ball for the base hit, but let's take a look at the sequence. Fastball right down the middle. Another fastball outside corner. Fastball down and in. Fastball in again. And then the hanging breaking ball for the base hit. Just a bad pitch. And that's it.
Yep, that will be the last act for Jason Schmidt tonight. They're going to the bullpen to get the lefty. It is already 2-0 Cleveland. We'll be back right after this on Fox Sports Net. In a 2-0 baseball game, Jason Schmidt yields the right of way to the man who precedes him alphabetically on the roster. Scott Sauerbeck comes into the ball game, and for a Rule 5 draft pick, that's not shabby at all. This guy was a AAA Norfolk in the Mets organization last year, 7-13 as a starter. But the Pirates liked him enough to gamble on him. He's got to stay on the big league roster all year, and he's given the Pirates good reason to do that.
Tough arm angle on lefties, kind of a high 3/4 type delivery. Fastball, curveball, little cutter. Left-handers only hit 136 this year, 6 for 44 off of Sauerbeck. That's why he's in right now. Trying
to replace Ricardo Rincon. That role filled very well by the man who's now a Cleveland Indian. It was Rincon for Brian Giles. That was a big offseason trade between these two teams. There's Ricardo Rincon hanging out in the back.
There he is. Talking to Luis Isaac on the right there. Bullpen coach.
With 2 on, 2 out. Strike 1.
This little breaking ball right there. This season, that versus lefties.
Runner taking off from second to third. How about that? Omar Vizquel just went tippy-toeing over there. He saw Sauerbeck wasn't paying him any mind, and daringly, he just strutted to third base. There's 2 out in the inning. But he saw that the third baseman Sprague wasn't paying attention, Sauerbeck wasn't paying attention, and watch Vizquel.
Vizquel knows exactly that he can beat Ed Sprague to the bag. Ed was so far over, Ed Sprague was way over here, and Vizquel took a little peek, knew exactly where he was. He really didn't do that off the pitcher. He knew that he could beat Sprague to the back because Tomei will pull the ball on the ground. In the air, he'll hit it everywhere, but on the ground, he normally pulls it.
0-2. The most literal interpretation of a stolen base. Give it to Vizquel, his 18th, and now you're in a position where a wild pitch gets the Indians out to a 3-0 lead. Vizquel trying to unnerve the young pitcher. He keeps dancing around down the line to third. Osa trying to frame it on the corner, no sail. And it's 1-2.
Kind of a sweeping type curveball, 3 in a row to Jim Tomei. He's trying to get locked in now. We'll see if he tries to sneak a fastball in on Tomei, but I'll tell you what, if he does, he better not make a mistake.
He got him. 2 men stranded. And as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, our score still Cleveland 2, Pittsburgh 0, and we'll take a look at what's coming your way tonight on Fox Sports News following our game. For that, we take you now to the Fox Network Center. At the stretch, 7 hits for Cleveland, only 2 by the Pittsburgh Pirates. They got a single from Warren Morris back in the 2nd, 1 from Kevin Young in the 4th. Bartolo Colon shut out the Pirates when he faced them in interleague play last year. Now here at Three Rivers Stadium tonight, more of the same.
Now 15 scoreless innings for Colon against the Pirates in his 2 starts against them.
Colon against Ed Sprague. He'll be followed by Warren Morris and Mike Benjamin. 5, 6, 7 in the order. Whoa.
Well, now this inning he starts with the sinking fastball. That's the 2-seamer those last 2 pitches. 93, 92 miles an hour.
Of the last 11 men to face Colon, only 1 has struck out. But only 2 have reached base. Look at that one tumble out of the strike zone. Sprague offers at it. 1-2.
Breaking ball right there by Colon, changing speeds. Nothing straight this inning for Ed Sprague. You know, Jason Schmidt threw the ball extremely well. Ed Sprague made an error in that 3rd inning to start out that 2-run inning for Cleveland, where Aubrey Alomar hit the 2-run, 2-out double.
Hook towards center, sinking, base hit for Ed Sprague. And the tying man will come up. The Pirates have not had a hit with a runner on base all night.
Colon just got one up. The phone is ringing down there. Luis Isaac answering it. Let's see who gets up. What you do down there as a bullpen coach is you've got a chart on all the hitters. You school. Paul Shuey's getting up, the right-hander. And that's the job of the bullpen coach. Make sure the guys are ready and who they might face. And you've got the scouting reports down there in the bullpen.
Might be a moot point. The double play. 1 pitch, and that's all that was needed from Colon to induce Morris to bounce into it very tidily.
Well, Warren Morris is a very, very good player, but what you got to do here is work the count a little bit. Can't let this happen on the first pitch. 6-4-3 double play. You got a 2-0 deficit right here. Good turn by Robbie Alomar. 1 step and throws a strike over there to Tomei. Because what happens when you see the bullpen get up, you know that the guy's getting tired. Mike Hargrove is concerned about pitch count. So you got to, as a hitter right there, they need another base runner. And after Colon gave up the base hit to Sprague, you've got to be able to see that and know that as a hitter. And that's probably just from his inexperience in the big leagues for Warren Morris. Been a very good player for the Pirates, but he'll learn that as time goes on.
And the poetic double play combination of Vizquel and Alomar Pirate fans might look out there and pine for the days of Bill Mazeroski and Gene Alley. In the mid-1960s, they could turn a double play. In fact, they turned 215 of them one year. Back in 1966. That's a record.
Well, you got Vizquel and Alomar. That's as good as there is in baseball. Oh, that group in Cincinnati is pretty good as well. Barry Larkin and Pokey Reese.
That Pokey Reese is tremendous. A strike called to Benjamin.
But here's what Benjamin's doing, a veteran player right here. He knows that the bullpen's up. He's working the count a little bit. And he probably should take another strike here.
Fouls it instead, 3-2.
Well, you got a fastball right down the middle, but really what you want to do is just work your way on base. The Pirates need base runners. I mean, they're down to 7 outs to play with offensively. Benjamin needs to get on. Pirate bench very well aware that they've been shut out in 2 years now by Cologne. They haven't scored off him yet.
Well, the fans hollering for the balk. We should remind them that there's nobody on base. Paul Ossenbacher and Paul Shuey continuing in that Indian bullpen.
Yeah, 98 miles an hour in the 7th inning from Cologne. Just reached back, got a little bit more. Kind of a warm, humid night. 15 2/3 innings, and the big 0 right there as far as runs for Pittsburgh against Cologne. But that's what you look for as a manager. It's hot and humid tonight. He's getting deeper into the game. Even though he's throwing the shutout, you got to think about your player first and the team.
Another 98er. And this 216 hitter, Mike Benjamin, really fighting now with Bartolo Colon, trying to wear him out.
Yeah, he's doing a veteran job right here, working the count and fouling off some good pitches just to stay alive, shorten his swing. Phil Reagan and Mike Hargrove talk things over. They'd like a few more runs on the board. Can't take the Pirates for granted. They had a good ball club.
Got him! At 95 miles an hour, the inning comes to a close. 7 in the books from Three Rivers, and the Indians still leading 2-0. At Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Josh Lewin and Kevin Kennedy happy to be with you. We move on to the 8th inning in a surprisingly low-scoring game. Surprising because it involves the Cleveland Indians. One swing has accounted for the 2 runs. The Alomar double back in the 3rd. Here in the 8th, it'll be Justice, Wilson, and Diaz. Scheduled against the lefty Sauerbeck on relief of Schmidt.
Sauerbeck's got a nice curveball, tough on left-handed hitters with that curveball. Struck Tomey out, threw 4 pitches to him to end the 7th, and 4 of them were curveballs.
Roll to short for Benjamin. And Enrique Wilson, the next Cleveland batter, after we tell you that this week on the Fox Saturday Game of the Week, it's a clash between 2 of baseball's best. It'll come alive through Catcher Camp as the Braves take on the Yankees. Some of you might see the Tigers and the Astros. Out west, the Padres and Mariners at Safeco Field, or the Dodgers and the Angels. That all starts at 12:30 Eastern and Pacific on your local Fox television station. Little Baltimore chop near 3rd from Wilson. Sprague unloads, 2 down. Sprague had the error, the fielding error back in the 3rd that opened things up for that 2-run inning.
Well, because Ed Sprague was playing even with the bag at 3rd, he's able to get this ball. It's hit off a home plate. Love it. And throw a strike over there to Young. If he had been playing back, been a much tougher play. Would have got it on the short hop. Nice play from Ed Sprague.
Now the catcher, Einar Diaz.
Well, with 2 quick outs and Colon sitting down, looks like Diaz is just going to take a little time at home plate there. Give Colon a rest. Now, saw some handshakes that Colon got out of that inning, but it looks like he's going to go back out there because the bullpen is sat down. And if the bullpen was coming in here, the Indians would have him up right now with 2 outs.
And you make a great point, Kevin. Diaz up there taking just to give Colon the chance to rest for a moment or two, even though he's now got to get up and stand on deck. The first 2 outs in the inning recorded on 3 pitches.
Yeah, we saw to start this inning, a little conversation Hargrove had with Colon, and I'm sure Colon said, I'm fine, I want to go back out there. But he does have 106 pitches, which is not a high pitch count. It's a good pitch count after 7 innings. But I think next inning when Colon goes back out there, nice gesture there. I think when he goes back out there, what Mike Hargrove will do is have the bullpen up right behind him, and he'll kind of go hitter to hitter, 1 out at a time with Colon. Start counting outs when you get to this stage of the game in a 2-run game when you're managing. And you've got 6 outs to go.
So Diaz doing his job. He's run this count to 3-2.
Come on, Mike.
Here's Mike Hargrove. Now what's this about?
He's talking to Kerwin Danley. And Mike pointed over his shoulder. Now he's looking down the line. I mean, there's nothing stirring in the bullpen. Now it's Mike Jackson with the glove, the middle there. But he's the closer. He'll be coming in for the 9th inning.
Well, Diaz on that last pitch made a motion like he thought he had been hit. I'm wondering if, I guess Hargrove coming out to maybe take up that argument. The walk.
Well, he's on there anyway. That's what he was working for.
Well, Diaz, the number 8 man on the order, has been on base 3 times for Cleveland tonight. And Colon is going to get on up there. He's got a single, a sacrifice, and a bounce out.
Well, what that does also, it gets the pitcher spot up in here in the 8th inning. So in case Mike Hargrove does have to make a pitching change in the bottom of the 8th, he doesn't have to worry about a double switch situation.
Hey, Bartolo Colon and Ted Williams, 400 hitters. Runner goes. Diaz is safe at second base. The catcher steals number 5.
Well, he just goes first move on Schoenbeck, and Diaz thought he had it easily, but that's a nice throw from Osick. Good quick feed again, throws a strike to Benjamin, and apparently got the right leg in there. Take another look at it. See if he gets the right foot in there. Yep, and almost came off the back. Yep, just got the right foot in there before Benjamin put the tag on him.
In the meantime, the count 1-1 to Bartolo Colon, who is working on a 3-hit shutout. Almost twisted himself silly into the ground, and Colon stifling a laugh up there. It's 1-2.
Pretty dangerous play right there by Diaz with Colon up there to run. And Osick, I tell you, the Pirates are going to miss Jason Kendall, but I tell you what, he's got quick feet, Osick does, and he threw a strike to second base. So defensively, they're not going to miss too much.
Colon finally strikes out. That'll do it. And Colon expected back out there, of course, for the bottom of the 8th, nursing a 2-0 lead.
Indians Pirates, Friday at 6:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Still 2-0. The 2 runs coming in the top of the 3rd inning. Roberto Alomar doubling, 2 runs in with 2 out. Brian Brown getting set to pinch hit after Keith Osick bats. Bartolo Colon has been much of the story tonight. The hard-throwing right-hander still bringing it through 7 innings, now on into the 8th. Just 24 years old, and again, if the Indians do not pursue a quote-unquote ace for their rotation, the emergence of Colon and to a lesser extent Jared Wright, you figure, Kevin Kennedy, that'll be the reason.
No doubt about it. 24-year-old Colon right there. He's going to be protected by Mike Hargrove because the bullpen is up for Cleveland. He's got 106 pitches, but what happened last year with a second-half collapse of Colon, he got tired. He threw a lot of pitches in the first half. Mike Hargrove learned from that, so this year he's really protecting his big right-handed starting pitcher, Bartolo Colon.
The action continues in the bullpen, and actually, as it turns out, Brant Brown will pinch hit not for the pitcher, but for the catcher. Keith Osick is out of the game.
And his job is to work the count and get on base if he can, not to swing at the first pitch. Again, you've got to be aware that bullpen is up, Colon's pitch count is up, and the Pirates need base runners. They're 2 runs down.
Another pinch hitter will bat after Brant Brown, who's had a flair for drama at the end of his short career. The next pinch hitter you see will be Abraham Nunez.
Well, Brown did the right thing there. He took a strike, saw 2 pitches, and now he'll be in the swing mode. He gets something down the middle. He did, but he got gassed. 100 miles an hour in the 8th inning.
Man. And after sitting on the bench all night, got to come up and try to hit that.
Brant Brown has only walked 10 times. He struck out 61 times. That's not a very good strikeout to walk ratio.
100 miles an hour to get him. On a hot and a hazy night and in the 8th inning.
Well, I guess he's all right. He told Mike Hargrove between innings he's fine. And look at this. 2 fastballs down the middle, but 100 miles an hour. That's just overpowering. And they're down. I mean, they're not up. They're down.
And you know, Brown, I mean, he can go down and golf that pitch too.
If he can see it.
If he, that's right. I mean, he took one on the roof at Tiger Stadium about a month ago on a pitch that was down around there.
You know, a golf ball sitting on a tee, it's staying still. A fastball coming at you from Cologne is coming 100 miles an hour. Toughest thing to do in sports. You don't think it's to hit? I bet it is. Absolutely. That's why the best hitters in the world only hit 300. I mentioned Ted Williams, the last guy to hit 400.
98 and 97 are the 2 pitch speeds, but those pitches both miss, and it's 2-0 to the pinch hitter Nunez. There's a strike.
Well, the assignment from Gene Lamont this inning is for his hitters to take a strike, and they're doing it. But Colon is throwing 98 to 100 miles an hour. Didn't miss by much. Pretty good pitch. Well, now Nunez has to take another one. You got to take a strike right here.
Al Martin on deck. Remember, he's got a 20-game hitting streak on the line. Not yet. It's 3-2.
And you'll see Colon do the same thing. He'll just rear back and throw a fastball and try to aim it right down the middle. And it'll probably be 98 to 100 miles an hour. Again.
3 walks, 8 strikeouts so far for Bartolo Colon.
Only a little bit of sweat. That's. There it is, 98.
And again, to any hitter who looks like he's slapping at a 2-strike fastball, that's incentive, it appears, for Colon to just keep throwing those. Figuring he'll get you sooner or later.
Well, there's no trickery when you're throwing 98 miles an hour in the 8th inning. Let it go. Got a 2-run lead. You definitely don't want to walk him by throwing something off speed. Plus, Josh, you know, when you do a guy a favor if you throw something off speed here.
Sure. Going away from your strength, right?
Exactly.
But the more the pinch hitter Nunez can keep tipping these two-strike fouls away, that pitch count grows and grows, and if nothing else, the Pirates assure themselves perhaps of not seeing Colon in the 9th inning.
That's why the key at bat of this game for the Pirates was the 7th inning double play ball that Morris hit on the first pitch to help Colon get out of that inning.
The ball.
Towards left. And David Justice camps under it. 2 down.
Well, tough to lay off a ball 4 when a guy's throwing that hard because you got to get your bat started a little early. You know it's going to be a fastball. Nunez got a fastball, but it was indeed a ball. It was up out of the zone, but he chased it, popped it up.
Not that the Pirates have had a lot of chances anyway, but they're 0 for 8 tonight with men on base. They have not had a man advance to second tonight. But if anybody can jumpstart him, it's this guy, Al Martin, with a 20-game hitting streak.
Well, I like what Al Martin's done this year, opening up his stance so when he strides, he goes right at the pitcher. Watch him. Right there. See, if you have your stance, if you're a guy that normally likes to step across your body and you stand up there with your feet planted evenly, you'll dive in toward home plate and you won't be able to hit the inside pitch as well.
And if the 20-gamer ends, it sounds like he's comfortable with that anyway.
It's been fun, but it's to the point where I don't even think about it, to tell you the truth. I try to get on base, try to score some runs to help us win. But I haven't really thought about it. It's not like it's 50 or 60 games or anything. I'm not chasing down DiMaggio. So, you know, it's one of those things where I go out and if I get a hit, I get a hit. If I don't, I'll start another one tomorrow.
And that may well be the case. The fly ball to center ends the 8th inning. Bartolo Colon has been the star of the game. It is 2-0 Indians. We are heading to the 9th. Cleveland leading here 2-0 in Pittsburgh, heading to the 9th, and when we're done, Fox Sports News Primetime will tell you about the British Open, the opening of Safeco Field up in Seattle, and of course the return, thank goodness, of Larry Dierker to the Houston Astros dugout. That's after the game. Fox Sports News here on Fox Sports Net. Chris Treme is the new catcher, and he's out there with Mike Williams, who's the new Pittsburgh pitcher. Top of the order up for the Cleveland Indians. That vaunted Indian offense has been rather quiet tonight. Just that 2-run double from Roberto Alomar.
Well, Jason Schmidt threw extremely well, and the reason Mike Williams is in right now for 2 reasons. Number 1, to keep the game right here, and normally he's the Pirates closer with 13 saves, a 2.67 ERA. The other reason, he's had 3 days off for the All-Star break, so you got to start getting your guys some work. You don't want to go into tomorrow night's game with 4 days in a row and not pitching.
Lofton sweeps one towards Sprague and foul ground. 1 pitch and 1 out in the books. Vizquel coming up. Don't forget, next week, Baseball Thursday. We'll have these same Indians against the Toronto Blue Jays at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, or you might see the Diamondbacks and the Astros trying to get into first place in their respective divisions. Sean Green, right with Manny Ramirez with those 25 home runs. Jeff Bagwell having an MVP kind of year in the National League.
That's where I'll be. I'll be in Houston, Josh.
Hey, I'll be there too.
Checking out Bagwell.
You want to share a cab?
Let's get the cab to the ballpark. You know, we're staying close. We're staying right. We can walk to it.
Oh, that's right. So we can't put in for that.
No.
I mean, we could.
See,
but
now everybody knows.
that would probably get red flagged. You're right. Vizquel to first. And a very quick and easy second out. Well, you look ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, when Mike Jackson could well be on the mound, the closer for the Cleveland Indians. It'll be 2-3-4 in the Pittsburgh order.
Well, what's going to happen? Colon has 131 pitches, and that's as far as he's gone this year. Actually, it's a couple of pitches more than he's thrown all year long for longest outing. So Jackson will come in for Colon no matter what. Talked about Hargrove protecting Colon, not wanting him to throw over 140 pitches this year. 131 is really high and a max for him tonight.
Roberto Alomar doubled in the only 2 runs of the game back in the 3rd. Batting now against the former Virginia Tech Hokie, Mike Williams.
Mike Williams has 48 strikeouts in 33 innings coming into tonight, so that's well over a strikeout an inning. Got a good curveball, good sinker.
Alomar works the count to 3-0 with Manny Ramirez looming on deck. Right there to make it 3-1. By the way, the executive producers of Fox Sports Net are Arthur Smith and Bill Borson. Coordinating producer for Baseball Thursday, Larry Myers. Tonight's game produced by Tom Hewitt and directed by Dennis Galloway. Head of field operations, Andrea Jenkins. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, Tom.
Foul ball out of play. Brian Moss, Mark Alsmeyer, Gary Nicholas, Mitch Rubenstein, Dan Wolf, Tom Thomas, Dirk Kruger among the crew here.
Did you say Moss correctly now?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
It's like there are several S's at the end of Moss. Got it.
No Moss Cologne tonight.
No Moss. That's exactly what they've been saying.
The Pirates will welcome that to bring Mike Jackson in. He's a guy that throws hard with a hard slider. A lot of power pitchers for the Indians.
The 3-2. Alomar pulls back. And he works a 2-out walk to bring up who else? Manny Ramirez. He of the 96 RBI.
Well, Mike Williams has given up 4 home runs this year in his 33 innings of work. Usually keeps the ball down. Ground ball type pitcher, and he definitely don't want anything in the air with this guy up there.
Well, and Ramirez has faced him before a couple times. He's 2 for 2 against him. And the ball gets away. Alomar to second as the ball actually got into the seats. So second is where he'll stay. Actually, that was Tremmy. Or, excuse me,
well, what could happen now is that Williams has a chance really to pitch around Ramirez. Not that Tomei is any day at the beach, but Williams actually gets lefties out better than righties because he got good sinking action and a good split going away from lefties. Little cutter right there. Hit the outside corner.
For the first strike on Manny Ramirez. They've got Williams trying to get together with the new catcher Tremmy. You've got Williams trying to make sure that Alomar stays at second base. And yet there's Tomei waiting on deck.
Mike Winters says no swing. Top of the order. Look at that on-base percentage. That's what's really key. 416, 388, and 420. Get on base, you're going to score runs when you got guys like Ramirez at the plate.
Just below the knees and called a strike. 1-2. Ramirez with a bounce out, a line out, a fly out, and a single. And again, all kinds of RBI opportunity presented for him tonight. This is the 4th time that he's been up there with a runner on base.
And Williams is working the breaking ball, the hard breaking ball going away from Ramirez, and he can hit a slider. He likes it up out over the plate.
Taps it to short. Benjamin planting and firing. He's got him by a step. Ramirez holding with 96 runs batted in. And Jackson has to hold the lead of 2-0. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Well, the Indians behind Bartolo Colon have brought a 2-0 lead into the 9th inning. The only runs of the game. We're back in the third inning. Roberto Alomar was the man who knocked him home. Al Martin couldn't get this looping fly ball. Bounces on the track and 2 runs come in. And really from there, Bartolo Colon simply took over. Masterful tonight. Ending up with 8 strikeouts, throwing 100-mile-an-hour pitches throughout the evening. And he even got a base hit. But now it's Mike Jackson. He will try to save it for Colon.
Well, Mike Jackson has an outstanding fastball with good movement. Really tough on right-handers because he's got a good hard slider. ERA is a little bit high this year at over 4.5. 33 hits, 16 walks in 39 innings. Giving up 7 home runs. It's a little high as well. It means he's getting the ball up.
Roars the first one in there to Adrian Brown.
Pretty good sinking action, 91 miles an hour, and that's a changeup compared to what Colon was throwing all night to these hitters. Hitting 100 several times.
Well, the Pirates with Brown, Giles, and Young.
Well, they've got the right guys with Giles and Young and Sprague to follow Brown. It's the right part of the order.
Count dips to 1-2. Jackson, a guy who traditionally has, as you say, Kevin, kind of lived and died with the slider. And the fastball, of course, outstanding. When he was in Seattle, he was really used only in situations against righties, but now as the Cleveland closer, he's got that approach that says, I'm not going to walk you, so you better swing the bat.
He goes right after you. A lot of people in baseball didn't think Mike Jackson could be a closer. They thought he didn't have the mentality for it. Great setup guy, but he's proved them wrong.
He deflects this one. Vizquel on the run. He gets Adrian Brown.
Well, you can be a good closer and have a lot of confidence when you got a defense behind you like the Cleveland Indians do. You got Vizquel and Alomar behind you like that, you can throw a lot of strikes.
Well, it is an airtight infield. And a little help from Jackson, who tips it to Vizquel.
Little assist, 1-6-3. Vizquel on the move. He throws off the run with accuracy as well as anybody in baseball.
Got to be strong up the middle, right? They are. And Brian Giles, well, here's his chance to make some noise against his old team. Ball and a strike to count. And again, Giles trying to downplay the fact that he's facing his old organization, but with a wink and a smile, he says, yeah, of course, you're going to get into this. 1-2, the count to him.
Good sinker, 88 miles an hour, but great movement. Going down and away from the left-handed hitting Giles. Tough pitch. And you just got to shoot that into left field, get your hands inside the ball if you can.
Ripped foul back to the net. Cincinnati, by the way, has won its game tonight. So the Pirates, if they don't mount a late rally here, they'll drop to 8 back in that National League Central. The Indians have stopped looking at the newspaper. I mean, they've got this Division I in the American League Central. Just outside 2-2.
Well, a lot of times for a manager, of course, I've never had the luxury of that, having a 13-game lead as a manager in the middle of July. But for Mike Hargrove, people say, well, it's an easy job. It's really not. It's tough to keep your club motivated when you know you're going to win your division. You have to have some incentive and make the guys, you have to really push your guys to play hard every single night. Mike does it well.
Goal setting, the big challenge, says Mike Hargrove. He handed out T-shirts in spring training that said 100 plus.
That's right. That's the goal.
Go hard or go home. Got to get 100 wins. No more coasting through the regular season and getting outplayed in the postseason.
It's amazing, isn't it? Then you got some clubs that say, God, if we play 500 this year, that's our goal. That's not the right goal. The goal is to win.
Well, just like Bartolo Colon hit triple digits tonight. That on the radar gun. Triple digits, anything short of that on the win column would be considered a disappointment for Cleveland.
Well, on this type of talent, they got the best record in the major leagues. They're looking for their 57th win tonight already. You got this type of talent, and you're still missing Cordero and Sandy Alomar, Travis Fryman. You got 3 quality hitters and players hurt, and they're still producing like this.
It's a quality at bat right here. Giles works it to 3-2. That goes flying in towards the first base dugout. Still 3-2. And there's what you're talking about, Kevin. Alomar out. Travis Fryman still out for a while. Will Cordero.
There's a couple of 300 hitters right there that are out of the lineup, and they just have so much depth. And we've got a good hitter on the bench, Richie Sexton on the bench. Done a nice job. Veteran bullpen, Mark Langston there, kind of brushing his hair back. Charlie Manuel, the hitting coach, done a nice job with this club too.
Jackson gets Giles. 95-mile-an-hour heat, 2 down.
Good battle by Giles and Jackson. Went all the way, and he said, all right, just like you said a moment ago, I'm going to challenge him. If you can hit it, fine. Gas right down the middle. Brian pulled off of it, swung underneath it.
A menacing figure out there on the mound with that brim of the hat pulled way down low like that.
Reminds me of Dave Stewart.
Yeah, you're right. Young, not a healthy cut.
Almost like Young wasn't expecting a fastball, maybe looking slider first pitch. Fastball under his hands.
The Pirates down to their last strike tonight. They have been 3 hit by Colon and Jackson. Bartolo Colon about to go to 8-3. And the Cleveland fans are making noise here in Pittsburgh. Is that it? That is it. Mike Jackson cements it. The Cleveland Indians have won it. It'll be a happy ride home on Interstate 76 for the Indian fans. A 3-hit shutout, mostly by Bartolo Colon. Mike Jackson on for the save, and Alomar drove in the winning runs all the way back in the 3rd inning. So that will do it from Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That 2-0 final. And we invite you to tune in Saturday for Fox Saturday Baseball. The Braves and the Yankees, Tigers, Astros, Padres, Mariners, or Dodgers and Angels. Check your local listings. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern and Pacific within the zone. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Then move on over to FX Baseball Saturday night. The White Sox and the Cardinals get together at 8 Eastern time on FX. Baseball Thursday next week, either the Indians, Blue Jays, or Diamondbacks and Astros. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. Fox Sports News primetime next in most areas. And you'll see highlights kind of like this. A night when Bartolo Colon shut down the Pittsburgh Pirates. A night when Roberto Alomar came through with 2 big RBI. For Kevin Kennedy, Josh Lewin, Fox Sports News primetime is next. And again, your final tonight. The Indians 2, the Pirates 0.